Japan's undersea fleet would be erased forever. In April 1946, more than 20 I-class submarines, massive ocean-going giants, some nearly 400 feet long, were scuttled in a single operation. Explosives detonated, torpedo doors blown open, and one by one, the submarines slipped beneath the waves. Oil slicks spread across the sea, the graves of weapons once meant to strike America itself. On paper, it was decisive, a fleet of killers destroyed in an instant, but the records told a different story. Some submarines never arrived at the rendezvous point. Others, listed as sunk in Road's End, were later reported sighted off Japanese ports. The numbers simply did not match. Were clerical errors to blame, or had a handful of Japan's most advanced submarines escaped destruction, their whereabouts never explained? Even in its attempt to close the book, Road's End opened new questions. For the Allies, the operation was meant to end a nightmare. Instead, it hinted at something darker. If not every submarine had been destroyed, where had the rest gone? Yet even after Operation Road's End, strange reports began to surface. In 1946 and 1947, merchantmen and auxiliary vessels went down suddenly in the seas around Japan, Korea, and the South China coast. Survivors spoke of sudden explosions, ships ripped apart in calm waters. Official reports blamed drifting mines, relics of a brutal naval war. The Pacific had been sown with hundreds of thousands, and many would remain lethal for decades. But not everyone was convinced. Some survivors swore they saw torpedo wakes moments before the explosions. To them, these were not accidents, they were attacks. Whispers spread through occupied Japan and among Allied crews that rogue submarines still prowled beneath the waves, crews that had refused surrender, commanders carrying out one last campaign, striking from the shadows long after their empire had fallen. No proof was ever found. No submarine ever surfaced to claim responsibility. But the stories refused to die. Were they just mines, or the ghostly hand of a navy that refused to surrender? And then another mystery emerged. By 1946, the Allies believed they had tied up loose ends. Submarines had been scuttled in Operation Road's End. Destroyers and cruisers were rusting in harbors, awaiting the torch. On paper, the Imperial Japanese Navy was finished. But then, ships began to reappear. Vessels reported destroyed in the final months of the war surfaced again, not flying the rising sun, but the red star of the Soviet Union.